Today, Israel takes a big step towards peace.
أريد أن أقول للثنائي ترامب ونتنياهو إن القدس ليست للبيع.
Your deal of the century is the opportunity of the century.
So President Donald Trump has presented a document after 3 years' work that he says is a peace plan that will deliver the deal of the century, peace between Israel and the Palestinians. It's not going to be that simple. It's a document of about 80 pages, very detailed. For the first time, the Israelis have consented to put forward in public a map that they've drawn showing how they envisage a future Palestinian state to be, and of course the Palestinians don't like what they see. It is not a peace negotiation. It's a set of terms which the Americans, with very strong Israeli backing, are effectively dictating to the other side in a very long-running conflict. So was this really the deal of the century? Well, perhaps for Mr. Netanyahu and his Israeli government, and that's because the Americans have essentially made all his positions about Israel's security and about the future of land that they've been occupying since 1967. The Americans have taken all his positions on that and essentially made them their own. It is not the deal of the century for Palestinians because they look at it and instead of seeing a peace proposal, a basis for negotiation, they see essentially a surrender document. It is very ambitious, trying to end the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and it goes back more than a century.
Politically, the conflict appeared to be settled. In actual fact, it had only just begun.
Two peoples wanting one set of land, different religions, different cultures, coming together like that. Not for a year, not for 1 year now, but for, well, more than a century, and particularly since 1948 when Israel became independent, when they won an independence war against not just Palestinians, but against all the neighboring Arab countries. So trying to sort all that out has defeated diplomats now for a generation. If success means making peace between Israel and the Palestinians, then I think the chances are pretty close to zero. I don't think that's going to work. That's because the Palestinians are effectively being told to take it or leave it. But in terms of trying to shape the sort of future that President Trump and Mr. Netanyahu envisage, well, it may have some strong influence in that. This Trump plan is going to have consequences. It can't be ignored. First of all, in just a few days, the Israelis say they will start the process of trying to apply Israeli law to parts of the occupied territories, to try to start the process of annexation, to bring that territory inside what they would then declare to be, with US backing, Israel proper. Now, that, I think, will go down badly, very badly, in Europe and in many other places around the world. But more significantly, perhaps, than that is the way the Palestinians might respond. To start with, they've been very disunited, fighting with each other at times. This may well bring them together. Opposition to the Trump plan. There's a risk, though, because the feeling that they don't have options left diplomatically might play into the hands of those people who believe more in violence. And they would be able to capitalize on a sense of anger, frustration, hopelessness on the Palestinian side. And it's a very combustible part of the world. So that is dangerous.